Hello, all you beautiful people. I'm so thankful that you came back to watch us do some painting. If you're new here, welcome. If this is your first time being here, welcome, thank you, and hope you like what you see. If you're returning, thank you so much for your support. And if you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button. So grateful for you guys. I don't know what I'd do without you. You're awesome, and I think that you should give yourself a pat on the back and a big hug, especially if you're returning. Okay, now we're going to work on this this bison skull, and it is going to appear like we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. I know, bear with me. But today we're going to get started again working on this left side with the eyeball and eye socket. I don't know how many times I did this. Okay, we're starting with some titanium white again, and we're just blending it in, taking a flat brush, and I'm just taking it over that left side, and I'm just trying to blend the color a little bit so it isn't so dark. And I'm just going side to side because that's the way I want the direction of my eye or the bone to look like it's going. Just taking titanium white, going in between that crack and the eye socket. Just gonna keep blending, working on that eye socket and that face. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Am I working on the eye or am I working on the face? We're working on both. And now I am taking an eyeliner. Well, no, this is the small straight edge brush, and I'm just going from side to side. I'm going to blend that in now with a little white, and I'll just keep adding white going side to side, going across. Now I'm adding a lot of white, but that's okay because we need to get that so it's subtle, not so it's bold. We're just going to keep going side to side. Now I'm going to go straight down on this part where the bone is. I'm just going to go straight down. And I'm kind of redoing this side so that's you'll see that as we're going. But now I'm going to take some more white, and I'm just going to take that straight across again, blending in the blue, going up along the crack. This is the shaded side, so this is the cooler side. So we're going to put a little bit of blue in there to kind of cool it down a little bit. And now we're just going to go side to side up on the forehead. And around the eye socket. Okay, now we're going to go again around the eye. And I'm taking that eye white all along that eye. And then I'm going to take and blend in some more of that blue. I want it to go straight across, so it looks like that's the direction the bone is going. I'm just blending in above that eyebrow. Kind of want to leave those lines, but I want them to be subtle, so that's why I'm Just going straight back and forth. Now we're just taking some more titanium white and going over the forehead a little bit. And now we're making that bone just kind of white so it pops up so it looks like it's kind of above the other bone a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna kind of going diagonally down the eye so it kind of makes a slanted look so it looks like it's um, poked out a little bit more, the eye socket. And I'm just continuing to do that. Okay, now I'm still doing gonna take it down a little bit. I'm doing that bone that's just on the side of his head. Now we're kind of doing the cheekbone area. I'm just taking some white with a little bit of blue on my brush, but not too much. Blues have a or a good pigment, or at least this one does. And the blue is primary cyan. And we're just going to keep working on that, getting that where we want it. And I'm going to keep working on that eye socket so it looks like that. There's a prominence in that eye. It looks pretty bright now, but it'll be toned down, and then when we shade and stuff, when we get done, it will be more what we want. Okay, there's a crack right there. I'm taking some burnt umber, and I'm just gonna take and just blend that out, kind of leaving the dark line, but blending the others. Then I'm going to take a liner brush and my white titanium. I'm just taking that white brush with a little bit of water, and I'm going to twist that brush until my brush has a point, and then I am going to be following that crack because I want it to stick out so it looks like that bone, or there's a little recession in that where that crack is or line. Okay, I'm going to do the same on the other side. So it looks like there's two, like that brown, the burnt umber, that line is indented. And I'm just going to keep taking the white until I like it. But a lot of times you kind of have to wait until your paint dries a little bit to get, the way you want it. But I'm just taking that and lining it, blending a little bit, probably more than what I should. And now I'm just blending it. I'm taking a dry brush and I'm just blending that all together. Now I'm going to take a little bit of burned umber and I'm going to go on that side of the head and I'm just going to blend that out. It kind of looks like, that back part of it gives it so it's not such a a flat appearance. You know, it looks like there's some depth and it's a little more 3D. You can tell that there's a side to it and stuff. So we're just right now blending that in a little bit, getting a little titanium white, just blending it in. Because that is our shaded side, remember, we want a little bit of shade there. Now I'm taking some more titanium white and just going straight across from the crack to the edge of that shaded area. Now we're going to go back down with the burned umber, and now I'm just going to take a dry brush and blend it in. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit more of that burned umber just along the edge so it looks like there's a little bit of a shadow. I must have run out of out of paint. I must be filling up. Okay, now I'm taking some of the marsh brown, or is it Mars brown? No, I think it's it's Mars brown. Or black, sorry, Mars black. One of these days, I'm going to learn to have good communication skills. I'm just going to outline that eye. I want that black part to be pretty black. I think right now I'm doing burnt umber though. And I'm going around that edge. Now I'm taking some white and I'm going to go around the inside edge of that eye. And I'm going to take a little bit of white on my brush and I'm going over that burnt umber. And I'm just taking some more white, trying to make it look like there's an eyebrow, a prominent eyebrow. Okay, I'm just kind of trying to make it look like there is that eyebrow bone. And I end up doing this a few times, but because my drawing skills ain't that good, that's why I like to have it drawn before I put it on and not change halfway through, because then it's harder for me to do it on a canvas while I'm painting. But I guess this is a good lesson for you guys because you know that you won't make a mistake. There's a way to fix it. Okay, now I'm just using a little bit, a barely little bit of blue with that cyan blue with a little bit of the burned umber. Now I'm just taking my liner brush and going over it with white. And now I'm blending it all in. I'm making this harder than it is, I think. I'm really struggling with this eye. Now I'm taking that with a little bit of blue and I'm going to blend that in a little bit more. And I'm doing that with a dry brush. Taking a little white. I'm not liking it, so I'm taking some little white and going over the top of it, blending it in. Taking a little bit of that blue, a little light blue, and now I'm just kind of blending it in. Then I'm just blending, taking titanium white and just kind of blending all of that on the forehead. Okay, now I'm taking my titanium white again. Taking it around that edge. And I'm just kind of going diagonally right there because I want that eye to look like the eye socket is coming down. Just continuing with the eye, or the white titanium. I know it seems like we're not making progress, and it feels like that too, but if I hadn't changed things, halfway through, this wouldn't have happened. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit of that white or blue and a little bit of cyan or burned umber, and I'm just trying to draw that eye, but it's not going so well, but the eye socket, I mean, but it will look better. And I'm just kind of getting my lines in there, taking some more of that blue, just rubbing it down side to side. And just taking a flat brush with a little bit of titanium white and blending it. Taking a little bit of blue and just blending that and doing my little lines. Actually, I think that's a little bit of burned umber. Yeah, that's burned umber. Now I'm taking my flat brush with a little bit of white and just blending it in. Gonna try that again. And I'm gonna just take some titanium white and I'm going across that eyebrow, and then I'm going to take it down around the eye socket. I'm just following that eye socket down. Just blending it in with a little white. You know, it's so funny because I can sit here and see what I'm doing wrong, but while I'm painting it, I can't. Okay, I'm taking a little bit of burnt umber and my liner brush, and I'm going to make, um, I'm going to make that triangle-like shaped bones that are on the other side. I'm just blending it in till I get the shape that I wanted, and I think that I'm taking some titanium white and going over that because I think I didn't like it or it wasn't. Okay, now I'm taking that to the edge. Okay, that's what I'm doing right there. Now I'm just trying to make it look like it's the skull and then a bone on top and then a little bone down behind. And so we're going to take this top, the skull is going to be, the outer skull is going to be the lightest. And then we're going to put a little bit of darker on the top part of that. And on the bottom half, we're going to make it just a little bit darker, but we're still just working on that half. And I'm taking burnt umber and titanium white. Okay, I'm just taking a little more titanium white, kind of shaping it. Now I'm going to take some more of that, it looks like sienna, or burnt umber, sorry, I'm taking a little bit of burnt umber. And I'm really making a mess right here because I'm not liking it, so I'm trying to just get that I'm laughing because this doesn't look like, it's like, do I know how to paint? But the finished project is actually really quite nice. I ain't no Bob Ross, that's for sure. Okay, now I'm taking my titanium white and my flat edge brush, small flat edge brush, and just going across. I'm just kind of putting a little shadow underneath that eyebrow. And I'm putting a little bit of titanium white, making that a little bit lighter. And then I'm coming up through the eye, around the eye, kind of keeping a little shadow there. And now I'm just bringing it down. And I'm just bringing my titanium white down the nose. Taking some more white, going up that nose and down the nose. And I'm just taking that cheekbone and I'm just taking some white. I'm taking that white and going underneath the eye now. lightening it up a little bit. And then I'm just still doing that. Okay, now I'm taking a little of the burnt sienna, a little bit of white, and I'm just shading that area right there underneath the eye. And I'm shading right underneath the cheekbone there. I'm just kind of bringing it down, just kind of so it looks like there's a little shadow there. Now I'm taking some titanium white and going over that. And I'm just working on the nose now, just taking down the titanium white and blending everything down in, just going down straight. I'm gonna kind of do that little shape that it has because I kind of lost the shape, so I'm just gonna keep working on getting that. I don't know why I always have a harder time on the left side of everything I do when I'm painting. The right side seems to be a little easier. It goes the way I want, and I don't know why the left side is just so different for me. Okay, I'm just taking some more titanium white and I'm just blending everything in there underneath the cheek and nose. I'm just going to keep going down with the titanium white. And just blending everything in. Okay, I take just a tad bit of that burnt umber and I'm just putting some shading in there, but we kind of went a little dark, but we'll bring it out with the white. Just kind of going along that edge so it looks like there might be a little bit of a shadow on the edge of that bone, but we still want it to look like it's a little higher than the other bone. So now we're just blending it in, taking a little bit more, not too much. I probably just added a little white with the raw umber or burned umber on my brush. I'm going to take some more titanium white and go over the nose, just going down, bring my brush strokes down. Up and down, up and down. And yeah, it's tedious, at least for you guys watching, it's tedious, but when you're painting, time flies. You don't realize the time. Okay, taking a little bit more of that burned umber. Gonna try to make a little bone there. And I'm bringing it down because we want it to be that little bone behind right there. We want it to be look like it's just down a little bit further than the rest of that bone. And now we're going to just take a little titanium white to tone it down a little bit. Okay, I'm taking my white, titanium white, and my liner brush, twisting it in a little bit of, taking a little bit of water, titanium white, and just twist my brush until there's a point. And then I am just taking that down along the edge of that burnt umber so it looks like that bone is a little more prominent than the other bone. Okay, I'm just doing the same thing, taking titanium white, still my liner brush, and now I'm going over the top part of that indented bone, making it just a little bit lighter than the top part, but still not as dark as or as light as the rest of the skull. Now I'm taking an outline and I'm just kind of blending in there. And I'm just taking a little bit more white to kind of blend in. And I'm just, with my little liner brush, just kind of blending that in. But liner brushes don't really make very good blenders, but in little spaces it does. But so I'm just taking that white over the top there. Now I'm taking some more titanium white and I'm just going over the forehead there between the eyes. And I'm keeping my brush strokes the direction I want the bone to go. I'm wanting the bone to look like it's going across, so I'm taking my white and I'm taking it so it looks like it's going across. But my eye going down, I'm doing it at a diagonal so it looks like the bone is kind of coming down around that eye. Alright, we're coming to the end of this video. I truly appreciate you watching, and if you stuck till the end, I really appreciate it. This can be really tedious, and sometimes I make it much harder than it actually has to be. But if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button, leave your comments below, let me know what I'm doing wrong, and please feel free to subscribe and come back and see us again. In a few days we'll have another video for you. Thank you so much for popping in. I appreciate you and I love you. Have a good night or a good day, whatever it is when you're watching.